since the FBI's raid on Mar-a-Lago, the case has been pretty much caught up in a legal battle between Trump's lawyers and the Department of Justice. Now, Judge Raymond Dearie examines the documents. He's going to decide, he's the special master, deciding whether or not things are privileged. But has the FBI's behavior during the raid already done pretty much irreparable damage to their entire reputation? Here to discuss is the author and columnist of Tablet Magazine and author of The Permanent Coup, How Enemies Foreign and Domestic Targeted the American President, Lee Smith. All right, Lee, so I took a lot of time. I read your piece many, many times. And one of the first things you say is, you know, does this rise to high treason? Donald Trump was said to be hoarding nuclear documents, which he planned to peddle for billions to the Saudis. Who's buying the map of Fort Knox? Does Trump have access to Colonel Sanders' secret fried chicken recipe, too? You kind of made the point.
Yeah, it's preposterous. What we're seeing is something that's never happened before in American history. The raid of a former president's home with the purpose, I'm afraid, of indicting the president. And, you know, Carl, I was very hopeful that that with the appointment of this special master, that they would be able to at least hold off, the FBI and Department of Justice. But now that I believe it's that this appellate court has given the DOJ the go ahead, I'm afraid, and I think it's bad for the entire country, that I think they're going to go ahead and charge the president, charge President Trump before the election now, and I think that will cause nearly irreparable damage to the fabric of our country.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you there. But the bigger issue is, so let's back up, okay? So they say, National Archives says, he has these documents, we want them back. President Trump says, they're not your documents, these are my documents. The entire federal government is operating under the guise of, like, these are ours unequivocally, so we can do whatever we want to get them back. They get them, they take his passports, we don't have his passports, then they give his passports back. Like, the entire thing has been such garbage from day one. Do you think that any of this stuff was legitimately manufactured by the FBI, like nuclear secrets? Did they have any evidence of that whatsoever, or was that just, he could, so let's go get this warrant?
Well, knowing how the press works, you know, they take something that's a little bit true and they expand it so it's ridiculous. I imagine that probably what this idea of the nuclear secrets is about, it probably has to do with his correspondence with Kim Jong-un, because it's important to remember that, you know, Donald Trump was trying to restrain North Korea's nuclear weapons program, and that's why he was meeting with Kim Jong-un. So of course he wrote him back and forth, and this was part of this was one of the documents apparently that was part of the dispute with National Archives. They wanted that correspondence with Kim Jong-un. They also wanted a letter from Barack Obama. Look, I mean, as the president's lawyers have pointed out, what we have here is a document dispute, and the FBI and DOJ profoundly politicized now, are use this as an instrument, again, not only to charge Donald Trump, but to take the country in half. They know very well that this will be the result, as does the commander-in-chief, Joe Biden.
Well, the irony of this whole thing is they were so concerned about the material that Donald Trump potentially had that had not been leaked to the press that they went and seized it via a raid in the early morning hours and then leaked it themselves. It's just like, you cannot make, like, explain to me, Lee, in what world do we live in where you see Barron Trump's belongings ransacked but not Hunter Biden's?
Yeah, I mean, look, one of the most preposterous things is, you know, and we've all seen the pictures now of these, you know, the documents that Donald Trump is apparently allegedly holding on to, and there's pictures of them the FBI disseminated to the press. And so, look, the sad thing is, there we have it. The profoundly sad thing is that so much of the American public right now looks at that and they're falling for this stuff that the FBI and DOJ and the Biden administration are trying to pull. When normal Americans, people with a smattering of common sense, would say, wait a minute, I don't get it. If these documents are so highly classified, why are they showing pictures of them on TV? I mean, you know, I don't know. Isn't that dangerous? Isn't that dangerous? Isn't that contradictory? Isn't that a paradox? But of course, this is where we are right now. The press is a part of this operation with our federal law enforcement agencies, FBI and DOJ, and of course the Biden administration.
And that's where we're at, and that's why most people are just like, look, I want nothing to do with this. And the FBI, honestly, they have lost all credibility, and nobody's going to cooperate with them anymore because everybody who even talks to them gets charged with something on the Republican side. Lee Smith, appreciate you writing that piece.
Thank you very much, Carl. Great to see you. Have a great weekend.
All right. It's
no crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
real news
For real people.